are we supposed to start?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to I've Had It podcast, a place where you can traffic in petty grievances, fight for democracy, and pay respect to the matriarch of America, America's legal eagle, the greatest legal mind, Sexless in the city, my mother, Angela Dawn. How are you today, Angela?
I couldn't be any better. I'm just happy as a pig in slop.
I don't know that there's a person on the planet that we love spending time with more than Don Lemon.
Completely agree.
All right, here's the situation, listener. We had Don Lemon on the podcast a few months ago, and that too was an in-person interview.
Right.
And after we filmed with Don was trying to send me some photographs of us, and we're trying to do the airdrop thing, and the airdrop doesn't work. And so he goes, I'll just text it to you. So I have Don Lemon's number. I have never, in the history of my iPhone, ever, not one time, programmed a person's name and put an emoji next to it. I see that people do this, but I can't be bothered with such childish antics, right? I want their name and how I know them. You know, like Angie, America's legal eagle. Right. Things like that. Kylie, producer of I've Had It podcast.
Everybody has a title of how they know.
Exactly. I don't have time for emojis.
Or
after Don Lemon sent me these images of Pumps and me with him, I went into my phone and I typed out his name to save it to contact, Don Lemon, and I put a lemon emoji and a yellow heart emoji. And it clicked save.
Yeah.
For the very first time. And then as we left, Pumps is like grinning from ear to ear. And she goes, will you send me Don Lemon's number? And I go, you cannot text him. She goes, no, I won't. I just want it saved in my phone as well.
I just thought if I were to have an accident and they picked up my phone and they started going through my contacts, they'd be like, she fucking knows Don Lemon?
It makes you cooler post-death.
It makes you cooler post-death. Like, even if they're like, who is she? She's just a Jane Doe. And then they think, she must have some shit going on.
Yeah.
Don Lemon's in her phone number, in her phone.
That's a really great point. Mm-hmm. You know, so listen up, listener. Here's some of our advice to you all. For fun, you could just like put George Clooney in your phone and just make up a number. And, you know, so that this post-mortem analysis of your cell phone, make yourself look cool.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. Here's the deal.
Preparing to look cool in death.
You've got to constantly be prepared.
And here's the deal with mine. Mine is going to be like, they're going to go through like she was married, she has kids, she has all these friends. Nobody got an emoji, much less two color-coordinated emojis, a yellow lemon and a yellow heart for Don Lemon, than this guy.
You know what they're going to think?
That we had an affair.
100%.
Yeah.
Could you get so lucky?
And they would think, but Don Lemon's gay. And they're like, but this is pretty intense.
Right. Like, there's love here.
And then they'll go to Don Lemon's phone and they'll see the text messages. And it's like, well, this is just an Oklahoma City area code. He never even programmed this number. I think what we have on our hands right now is a classic case of a stalker.
A true stalker.
So then I go from looking cool
to crazy
in death to crazy.
Yeah. Well, but you're dead.
From cool to crazy in 0.5 seconds.
Right. Well, that's how we did life.
On I've Had It podcast. All right. So today, in person in New York, Sexless in the City, sponsored by Meat Curtain Law and her Siberian Husky.
Right. Here's
Here's the deal. Okay. For your photo shoot for your law firm.
Okay.
Hear me out. Okay.
This is going to be bad.
You are wearing a bald eagle costume.
Okay.
You have a bald eagle on this hand, a real one. And like we put like, you have like a American Eagle cape. Okay. And then you have like your mascot for your law firm. A lot of people think it's a layup. It's so obvious that it's the eagle. But we're going to go with the Siberian Husky.
Okay, here's the deal.
The Siberian Husky could also be in an eagle costume. I'm telling you, if it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
That's right. You got to go all in. Okay, here's the deal. I'm all in with that because what I thought you were going to say would be naked photos to show the Siberian
Of course
Husky.
you thought that.
Well, I'm just saying that's how bad. That's immediately I thought, oh my God, this is going downhill fast. That's where I went. So I will
course that's where
gladly
you
dress
went.
up in an eagle costume.
Because you have not been laid in 48,746 days trotting around sexless in the city with your Siberian Husky. Pumps. All right, listen up, listener. All right, here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
You need to stay locked and loaded and be prepared to be razzle-dazzled with some of the best chemistry on the World Wide Web. The hottest throuple in show business. Fighting Eagle, Meemaw Meat Curtain and her Siberian Husky. And then her friend, Jennifer, and the love of our lives.
The love.
Don Lemon. Patriots, Gatriots, Thatriots. That's the eagle. We're here with the love of our life.
The love of our lives.
And I think he loves me a little bit more than he loves Pumps
No.
because I didn't stand him up. It's my love, Don Lemon. How are you?
How are you?
Fantastic.
Dawn, she tells me all the time you like her more because I had to get my lashes done. This is a heartbreak.
Your lashes look great though.
Thank you.
You couldn't come on because of your lashes?
Okay, here's what happened.
I still love you though, but go on.
We had an the reproductive freedom bus. They're like, hey, do you want to get on Sunday? And it was like, that was supposed to be my day to get my lashes done. So that was the only time I could get it on. And I was like, I would move anything for anyone ever for Don Lemon, but this is the only thing I
So let me tell you who
move.
pulled up. Let me tell you who pulled through in the clutch for Don Lemon. It was J-Dub.
Yeah.
It was Jennifer Welch. And we had a great talk. I think
It was great. I watched it.
positive
It was very
feedback.
positive. I love your
Yeah.
candor. I love both. You know, we're just messing with you. I understand it. And you got to call at the last minute to go on the women's reproductive
Yes.
bus, right? And you want to look good because you don't know when you're going to get back to a salon, right, Pumps?
That's right.
That's
I
right.
mean, it was
Got it.
rural in Pennsylvania, which we loved. It was like summer camp. Like when we got off, we were like, oh,
Yeah.
we're leaving our counselors and our friends. It
But
was
J-Dubs came through.
She
And
did.
Great talk. Your candor is amazing, and you can say things, you can get away with things that I can't get away with, especially like how you talk about white people. I would be called a race baiter, as you know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of my I've had it with
Let's hear
is
it.
that I've had it with. Don't get offended, everyone. I've had it with white women voting against their own interests.
Agree.
Agree.
I completely agree. It's mind-boggling. And I don't know if it's internalized misogyny or sexism or deference to their husband, but I can't wrap my head around it. I cannot wrap my head around it.
I don't understand. Like one of them is, and we'll talk about this, is black men supporting Trump. Like I don't understand that.
Right.
Right.
You do you, but I've had it with that, and just like so, the same thing. For you, you've had it with white women. I don't understand how you can support someone who believes that you shouldn't have a choice over your own body. There's not one law that tells a man what he can do with his own body, especially with his reproductive organs.
Right.
Right, of your balls. No one
Right.
says, well, you can't use it for this and you can't do this with that and you can't. No one.
Nobody's regulating erections.
No.
Erectile
not
dysfunction.
at all. As a matter of fact,
medication.
you're trying to enhance them. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
The science in that has been outstanding.
So listen, and for millennia, that has been happening not only through laws, but also through religion. Same thing, right? Same thing. I just wrote the book about that. I Once Was Lost, My Search for God in America. It just came out. I have a friend in the book who had no idea of her experience when she had to have an abortion. This is before Roe v. Wade. And she said she went into the hospital. She went to the doctor in her second trimester because I think she said her water broke. She said her water broke in her second trimester. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor said that her pregnancy was untenable, that it was incompatible with life. The organs were growing outside of the body. She could not have, what is it, DNC, right?
Right.
She couldn't have that because it would be considered a late-term abortion. She couldn't get food, water, pain medication, none of it. And she had to sit there for days in pain until the fetal heartbeat stopped. And the outcome was going to be the same.
Right.
And she said, the nurse said, instead of asking for an abortion, you should be praying for a miracle. well, wouldn't the miracle be in the hands of the doctors who went to the school and the medications and the medical advances in technology that could help her in her moment of crisis and need? Like, it's all in the way you think. So that's why I said I've had it with white women voting against their own interests.
I'm going to tell you, it is really disturbing because I feel like, and y'all can tell me if you think this has happened, I feel like with Trump, he's moved the goalpost so much morally about what's right and wrong. He's moved the goalpost so much about what it means to have the rule of law and to appreciate democracy and to appreciate decorum and the principles of being American. Back, if you think about the Obama Romney race, and he keeps moving the goalposts. And I've noticed that his followers have started to move the goalposts too. It's like a whole paradigm shift in the American psyche on the right. At first, in Oklahoma City, a lot of women were outraged. Women that I know have never voted for a Democrat. They were outraged when Roe was overturned. And they said, I will never vote for Trump again. He lied, etc. And I've seen these women move the goalposts and they're buying into this rhetoric. Well, Trump didn't ban it. He just sent it back to the states. And I see all this crazy mental gymnastics that they're going through, but I think it's across the country. I think a large percentage of the country is literally deranged, Dawn.
Okay, so has he moved the goalpost? Or have people moved the goalpost for what they believe is morally right? Has he moved the goalpost? Because remember, the first thing he said was, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
Right.
Yep.
Then he said, John McCain, he prefers heroes that aren't captured.
That's right.
Right? And then he said, he made fun of the New York Times reporter. And then on my show, he said, Megyn Kelly had blood coming out of her wherever.
Yep.
And then he insulted Gold Star families. So has he changed the goalpost?
You're
or
right.
is it us? Or is it Americans? Or is it people who I believe, these undecided voters, are people who are looking for excuses to vote for Trump?
Okay, I've had it with undecided
Yes.
voters.
Okay, so it's all the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's just people saying, you know what? I think my wallet was better under him. I like my chances of keeping my power under him. I like my chances of keeping my preeminent voice in society and my privilege under Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is the same person. He's been saying the same crazy stuff.
You are right.
It's a really good point. I think he has moved the goalposts because they bent morally to vote for him the first time. And then the second time they probably knew better. The large body of evidence now after January 6th and the 34 felonies and the stealing the classified documents and hiding them out with his gold toilet and all that.
We don't have all day. I'm just saying, right?
But now I read a stat, Dawn. I wrote this down for you because I wanted to talk to you about this. I read a stat, 92% of 2020 Trump voters are going to vote for him again. 92% of Trump voters that saw January 6th, that stand up and do the national anthem at the sporting events that they go to, and they saw people beat up cops and take a literal shit in the Capitol, and they say they love America, 92% of Trump voters are voting for him again.
That's why I call it performative patriotism.
Oh, it totally is.
When you stand there and you say, because if you're an actual patriot, you would say that someone has the right to be able to kneel if they want.
Yep.
Right. That Colin Kaepernick should
That's
have
exactly
the
right.
Especially
Yeah.
if you would try to understand why he was doing what he was doing and why he reached out to a member of the military who told him how to do it in a more respectful way. So if you're an actual patriot, what you do is you believe in what the Constitution says, and the Constitution says that you have every right to criticize your country.
It's
Because
healthy.
It's healthy, and that's who we are.
That's right.
And I don't believe in people burning the flag or doing whatever, but if you want to do it, you have every right to do it. I don't like it.
Right.
Because again, in my new book, I write about as a Black man, I say I have a complicated relationship with the flag, and as a gay man, I have a complicated relationship with the Bible.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I love my country and I love my God,
Right.
and so it is my right as an American to be able to do those things, and
Right.
it is my right as a Christian to be able to question.
Right. No, I think it's really important. I think whenever you find yourself as a part of an organization where questioning and critical thinking is discouraged, what the professionals say is you're in a cult.
You're in a cult.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you're in a cult, when you try to leave the cult, what do? They call you names. They try to demonize you. They ostracize you. You're right, Pumps. And what happens is you're a rhino if you try to leave. And you always make excuses for the cult leader. And there's no accountability for the cult leader. Remember, immunity from the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All those things. It is a cult.
Listener, this may come as a total shock to you, but Pumps and I have not always been this pulled together and rock solid. In fact, we used to be rather screwed up, wouldn't you say, Pumps?
I would say damn near psychotic.
Totally. And we have written a cell phone expose. One could even say it's a manifesto. And the book title is
Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches.
In all sincerity, we share a lot of our struggles that led us to this grand stage where we can talk about petty grievances. You can click the link below in the show notes to pre-order your copy now. Pumps, I have got to tell you, I have elevated my shower experience each and every morning, and I have the ultimate self-care ritual by using Osea's new Undaria Algae Body Wash. It is an absolute must-have.
I love it because it has a gel-like texture, and then you put it on your skin and it lathers and it feels fantastic.
It has natural plant-based ingredients to help support the skin's moisture barrier and cleanse without stripping. It leaves your skin soft, smooth, and revitalized. Listener, upgrade your shower with clean, vegan face and body care from Osea. You can get 10% off your first order site-wide with code HADIT at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order and free shipping on orders over $60. Head to OseaMalibu.com and use code HADIT for 10% off. Pumps, my number one goal in my life is to be the very best pet owner that I can possibly be. My pets bring me immeasurable joy because they're consistent. They're consistently happy to see me and be with me, and they never disappoint me. And I want to be consistent with them. That's why Chewy is my one-stop shop for all of my pets' needs.
I cannot tell you how much I love the Chewy products because I feel good about what I'm providing for my dog.
And you know what? You don't have to worry because Chewy has top tier 24/7 customer service. I can get expert advice over chat or phone day and night. Plus, if my pet or I don't love something, Chewy's 100% satisfaction guarantee lets me return it within a year, no questions asked. Listener, Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/hadit. That's chewy.com/hadit to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/hadit. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. Please see site for complete details. In your new book, you talk about evangelicals.
I do.
And we, buckle at the Bible Belt, Oklahoma. We grew up around evangelicals. Pumps is an ex-evangelical.
Right.
Are you really?
Raised, yeah.
Southern
Parents
Baptist.
still are.
And
Is this tough for you listening to these things?
No.
It's not.
No. Because it's the evolution of the whole. I went through a lot of stuff when I was young, married, young mother, like where I thought, this can't be happening to me because I did everything right. I go to church, I studied the Bible, I do all this. I was special. And then you evolve into, I have to make decisions to keep my family afloat. And the praying's not going to matter in the decisions I make now. And so it was a long evolution, like would you say like 10, 15 years of deconstructing and trying to put it all together and then stepping back from it. And therapy, I had to read Freud. I had to do a lot of things to get my mind around it. And having come from that, seeing it now, I understand what's being said. I get where it's coming from. I get the not criticizing the religion. You have to, the black and white thinking that they're bad, but we're good. And I see that all as very self-destructive and self-loathing-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not hard. It would have been 5 years ago, probably. Yeah, five years ago it would have been. But this whole Trump thing where I see my evangelical parents that don't cuss, don't drink, don't watch TV shows with cussing, like straight laced, but they can just go all in for Trump. And I'm like, I cannot figure this out. And that has really been like a mirror up to the thinking for me.
Wow.
It's
you
hard.
said a lot in there. Do they sit in front of the TV and watch Fox News all day?
All day. But it's, they do. When I walk in for dinner, they turn off the 5 in my honor.
I want to go on that show and help out Jessica Tarlov. Not that she
You've
needs
got
help, but
to.
She's amazing.
She is.
Okay,
She's
here's
really
what I
good.
want to talk about it though, because
I
we
cut
all
you off. I don't know if
no,
you remember what you were going to say.
no.
But yeah.
We all grew up in the South and around an evangelical culture. And my parents weren't religious at all. My mother, a total atheist, so kind of a weird upbringing for the buckle of the Bible Belt. But I saw firsthand the cruelty in evangelical Christianity from an objective point growing up, because these kids, these classmates of mine, were always so quick to tell me and my parents that we were bad people. And their only evidence of that is that we didn't attend church. Meanwhile, my friend's mom would have a black eye because the dad had hit her, and we knew that the husband was screwing around. And there was this recreational cruelty from what I could observe about evangelical Christianity. Like, they always wanted to recruit me, but like the pitch that they were pitching to me, because I hadn't been indoctrinated in it, it wasn't very appealing because they seemed so tortured. These classmates of mine were so tortured if they masturbated, if they had a crush, if they thought bad thoughts. It was this very rigid worldview. And you've spoken a lot about, I think it's over 80% of evangelicals vote for Trump.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really interesting component to this election and a problem in America, because a lot of rural America, there's no culture. So they get a sense of community and a sense of belonging in these churches.
Well, that's why they go to the Trump rallies.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a sense of community and a sense of belonging.
Right.
Because, I can see going to a rally or two or whatever, and I love it that people are showing up for the Harris Walls rally, but I'm not going to travel around the country and continue to follow someone like that and wear their merch and do whatever. But I think people do it because there's a sense of belonging and a sense of community. And I think on the Harris Walls side, it's also a response to that too, to show people like, F you, we're going to support our candidate as well. But yeah, it's a sense of belonging. It's also power. Again, giving up, as you know, giving up power and influence and privilege, it's tough to do that. No one does that willingly. So I understand that that's human nature, but I don't understand the cruelty in it, the hypocrisy in it. And you can recognize, when people say, hey man, I'm just trying to keep my job. There's an awareness that they're doing it for that, right? And they're not lying to themselves. It's like, I'm voting for Trump. I'm just doing it because I like that he says nasty shit to people.
Right.
I like that he's a misogynist. I like that he's a racist. And you would have to say all of those things in order to be aware of what you're doing. And so if you sat there and you said, well, Trump's a racist, they have to say he's not a racist in order to justify their own thinking and their support. So you'd have to say, okay, Donald Trump's a racist. I support that because, I'm just trying to keep that's the realization that you would have to come to, and they could never do that. Most people, unless you're deprogrammed.
Right.
Tell him what you think about the black jobs comment, how that's cover.
Okay.
See what he
I
thinks.
think living, growing up in a white world and living in a red state, I think when he says immigrants are coming in and taking black jobs, black people and enlightened white people, which we're trying to always be ever more enlightened, see that as inherently racist, what he says. We don't hesitate. We don't blink. And I believe that my white neighbors hear that, and he's providing them cover so that people can say, oh no, he's not racist. He's protecting Black jobs.
Yes.
You think
That's why he's saying that.
Yeah. That and what you think a Black job is.
Right.
That's why I loved
He's
Michelle
not saying
Obama.
that they're becoming, because he's talking about migrants and immigrants, right? So he's saying all
Entry
the
level.
jobs for the Black folks are entry level. Maybe your staff, or you know what I mean, that you are domestic or that sort of thing. So he's not talking about those people who are stealing the Black attorney jobs, you know, air quotes, or the Black principal jobs, or the Black engineer jobs. He's not, because he doesn't see those as bad people. He sees the brown people and the Black people who come across the border as the bad people. When, yes, is there, and we all know there's a problem with our immigration system. It needs to be reformed. There's a problem at the border. It needs to be fixed. They could have had that. Jim Langford, they could have had
Yeah,
that.
from our state.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that they crushed the bill or killed the bill at Donald Trump's behest. Republicans did.
So many white people are looking for permission structures.
To say, look, he's trying to help
vote
Black
for-
people.
Right.
Yes.
I never
You're
thought of
looking
that.
at it in a very deep, they're not thinking that. They're looking for a way to say, oh no, because I had a conversation with a woman in Oklahoma City and I said, oh, Trump just bothers me with the racism and the homophobia. She goes, I thought Black jobs were really good under Trump. I didn't know he was bad with the gays. And I go, yeah, he's actively sought to remove discrimination protections. It starts quietly before they get to marriage. It
Right.
starts with the little stuff.
Right.
That's more insidious because then all of a sudden all that little stuff's taken away and that hurts people. But they're always looking for permission structures. But here's something I said on another podcast that we had. I'm sure you have stocks in the stock market. I have stocks. And you have the Trump voter that's the cult that wears the MAGA merch, buys all the crap, travels around and follows him. But then you have the embarrassed Trump voter. And these are the most insidious to me because they say, well, I like his policy and I want to vote for him for the economy. Well, if you look at stocks, not everybody has stocks, listener, and I know that a lot of you don't, but we're older and we've worked a long time. So we've built up to where I, put money in the stock market each month that I can. It's not even comparable how well my stocks have done under Biden and how they did under Trump. Biden's stock market is blown. I'm like, every time I log on, I'm like, oh my God, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, Joe.
My
Let's
guy's
go,
calling
baby.
me saying, more money. I'm like, I got to pay for this business. He's like, oh, the market is going crazy. You
Yes.
gotta send me more.
So they see that. They see that. They know that the economy is good. So you remember when James Carville said, is the economy stupid?
Yeah. My home state. of
I
Louisiana.
think,
Yes, I
I
like
think, Dawn, I think it's the racism stupid.
You
I think-
do.
I do. I think they are all looking for permission structures to vote for this man
Yeah,
because
but-
it's not, the economy is better under Democrats.
Yeah.
Objectively,
Yeah.
it is. The Republicans deregulate and they fuck everything up. George Bush, 2008, shit show extraordinaire. We all know it.
I
And then,
say that to Republicans and they're like, oh, you're crazy. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you saw when I went across the country to the convention.
Yes.
I said that. I said, but actually the economy is better now. And oh, you're out of your mind.
I think it's the
No,
messaging.
They don't believe it.
They don't believe it. The Republican messaging is spot
It's
on
really
that.
good.
They have really
They're
done a
very
good
good.
job at that. Let me ask you this. How much do you equate MAGA with the propaganda networks that are like very few facts? They've got one person that's trying to pump facts in, but that's it. I attribute a lot of the radicalization to the news propaganda echo chamber on the right. What do you think?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
yeah.
Because that's like, and Donald Trump is very aware of it. Like
Yes.
yesterday, he stood in front of a crowd. He took his behind down to Georgia when they told him not to come.
Right.
Right. And they asked the White House and the vice president and the president not to come. We will tell you when to come at a more appropriate time. We'll let you know. Donald Trump goes down for the photo op. Okay. And he stands in front of the microphones and he says, well, Governor Brian Kemp hasn't been able to get in touch with Joe Biden and, he's just not getting anything from him. And Brian Kemp steps up to the mic and says, I spoke to the president yesterday.
Yes.
I missed his call and I called him back and he said, whatever you want, you can have, and and if you're not getting it, you call me personally and I'll let you know, and I'll take care of it. But that the echo chamber, and they will distort that story and they will run what Donald Trump said. And all of those people, like your parents, will sit in front of the television and say, see, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris aren't doing anything for those people down in the storms.
Right.
They're ignoring them. And when it is the exact opposite of that. So you're 100% right. And if you listen to, was it The Five or whatever, the way that they twist the narrative, they're taking the part that makes Democrats look good or look human, and they're hiding that from the people who listen to them, whether it's Fox or I don't know if OAN is on or Newsmax or whatever it is, or the New York Post or whatever conservative outlet, the Daily Caller.
But I think
that's what's happening.
So that's the most extreme area of sane washing, where they try to, but I do think some center to center left publications try to sane wash
and
Trump.
outlets.
What was it that was, he did something that he was just absolutely horrible. And the New York Times says, well, he had issues on the economy, or he
sharpened his position.
Trump
on the
economy. And I'm just like, that is not what happened.
Yeah.
It seems like it's more digestible if they tie it up in a bow and just say, oh, well, he made some rambling remarks. And it's like, what he's saying is he wants the purge. Like, why do you think that is?
Okay. So I'm not just talking about my old network.
Right.
I think in general, reporters sort of feel like they have an obligation to be balanced and to be objective, and that they have to give both sides. But I think that we're in a time now where you have to use critical thinking, and you have to understand, that it's not, everything is not equal, and that Donald Trump is an unusual, particular kind of threat to democracy, to journalism, to institutions, to America. And so you cannot put him on the same platform or level that you put people on in normal politics, where people can embellish sometimes,
sure.
Right? You're a politician, but you should not be putting those people on the same level. And I do think in this time, honestly, when media is shrinking, when jobs are fewer and far between, people feel like, I cannot say the truth. I have to say, okay, well, you have this, but then also over here, Donald Trump is trying to do this when Donald Trump isn't trying to do any of it. Donald Trump is a terror. Right. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. And he goes against everything that is an American. He's not a patriot at all. No. He's not a conservative.
No, he's not.
He has no core beliefs.
In their effort to try to have, and it just seems arbitrary when you say it, that they want to be objective. Their objectivity actually causes a lot of damage, and in my opinion, is a stain on journalism because it's not objective.
Now think about this. Okay, so we're independent media now. I'm an independent journalist. I don't know if you guys consider yourselves journalists or podcasters. Yeah. But who's your boss?
Ourselves.
Okay. Now imagine if you had someone who was paying your salary on top of you saying, you got to be fair with this person. You need to be fair with Trump. And we've got to show both sides. And then on top of that boss, there's another boss on top of them that is, that has a billionaire, and they want, look, we got to have these tax cuts. And it's sort of trickling down. Yeah. And you are at the bottom, and they're watching you on television. And if you say the wrong thing, your deal's up in 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I may or may not have read about this happening to somebody that I really love.
But do you? I'm just saying.
I agree with you.
Do you understand the pressure that,
I do.
that people are under?
No, I agree with you. I think you're right. And I think that, corporate influence in a lot of things is a problem, whether it's the pharmaceutical industry, the gun industry, and now the media.
And they're afraid of advertisers.
I didn't even think about the advertisers.
You know what's so sad about all that?
Yeah.
Is there are women in our state, and women that you talked about, that are, they have a pregnancy gone awry, or maybe they were raped, and they are denied privacy and healthcare from scientists and from doctors because, this is my thing to Christians. This is, as an atheist, this is my big question. Why do y'all always value money and defer to money and profiteering over the well-being of people.
They've made money their God.
And they always
Right.
do. There's always a deference to money.
And guns.
And guns.
That's a weird
They've
thing.
made
That's a weird thing.
They've made guns their God. They've made guns a religion. They've made making money their religion as well. It's just, that's all I can say. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
The gun
It's
thing.
really sad.
Yeah.
The gun thing, I do not understand. Like, I cannot wrap my head. You're so pro-life, but you will not pass any laws for gun safety, and children are dying.
But they're not pro-life. They're pro-birth.
No, I know, but that's
Right.
what their claim is. And
Right.
I'm like, how do you value a gun more than you value a child's life?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand it.
I believe that everyone is pro-life. Right?
Agree.
Everyone is
Like, everyone's
It's like when
pro-family.
when a
Nobody's
politician is
anti-life.
like, I'm running on family values. And I'm like, okay, asshole, nobody is anti-family.
Right.
I mean, shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of that. I mean, quit pointing out the obvious. Is that what you're arriving to your, did you see this guy recently that he was running for Congress?
They're not the one with the fake family.
Yes.
That's the one.
I'm just like, how, but they get
That's
away with
the
all
one.
that
I
shit. It's
forgot
like that
his
Nate
name.
Robinson.
I think I wrote
He
it
gets
down.
away with it because Trump hasn't even
Yeah.
pulled the endorsement.
But did you also see that there was also the other guy, DeAngelis or whatever his name was, who the school choice guy, who said that they were teaching too much DEI and
Porn star.
ABCs and the LGBTQs, and they were indoctrinating kids into homosexuality and pornography or whatever. That allegedly, well, that's what he said. And in the meantime, they like found video of him doing
Adult
gay porn.
Right. Yeah.
Of course.
But look, there's not. That's your thing, and you're an adult.
Go for it.
Go for it. But it's the hypocrisy.
The
of it all.
hypocrisy.
Listen, I fight and I vote for the rights of every, closeted gay man out there that's voting against his own self-interest. We are secretly over here fighting for your right someday to be able to come out. And I mean, I'm not saying Lindsey Graham. I wouldn't do that. Dawn, I wouldn't do that. That's not right.
Yeah.
But it's like Grindr crashing at the RNC.
Yeah.
Of course it did.
And gay men talk.
Oh,
and
they
so
sure do.
Gay professionals who are working in
Those
the industry.
DC. Yeah. Yes. Mhm.
You know what I'm talking
we
about?
got deep
yeah.
down in the rabbit hole. Ladybugs.
Oh yeah. I was in the park the other day and I interviewed someone and they said, well, of a particular Washington politician, you don't have to pay for it. I have a friend who will, you don't have to pay for my friend to come over at 2 a.m. anymore.
Poor baby. Tortured.
Pumps, our ability to suck and then wake up the next day and suck more than the previous day is undefeated.
It's unparalleled. We are the champions.
If you would like to see how bad we suck, please join us in New York City in November for, just some world-class shit talking.
That's right.
Live and in
person.
That's right. Pumps, the number one question in the comment section of our podcast is, how did Pumps lose weight? Is she on Ozempic?
I would answer that with, of course I am. And it's been so great. And using Roe to access GLP-1s, they're more affordable. They have the product when I need it. And I feel so much better.
Listener, through Roe, you can access prescription compounded GLP-1s with the same weight loss ingredient as brand name GLP-1s at a fraction of the cost. Roe has compounded GLP-1s in stock now. You can get it in 1 to 4 days if you qualify. All you have to do is go to roe.co/hadit. Memberships start at just $99 for your first month. Medication costs are separate. That's ro.co/hadit. Go to ro.co/safety for black box warning and full safety information. Compounded medication is not required to and does not receive FDA review or approval. Prescription only. If you watch the documentary, Will and Harper.
No, I'm watching the beginning of it.
Okay.
When I know what it is. It's
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell and his friend Harper. They used to work together at SNL.
Correct.
One was a writer, and Will Ferrell did the sketches. And then he gets an email from his friend, Will Ferrell does one day, who says, I am transitioning into a woman.
Correct.
And instead of ostracizing him or pushing him away, going, this guy is really weird, he tries to understand what it's like, and they take this trip across the country.
He
which
does.
is amazing.
And I just finished it.
And
It's beautiful. It is a beautiful story of just accepting people. And, Harper was in so much agony for so long, in a quiet kind of agony where she hated herself and she felt weird and she felt different and she felt suicidal and a lot of terrible things. And finally, the pandemic pushed Harper to make a change. And she reached out to her friend Will Ferrell and a lot of other people at SNL, and they all supported her. And Will Ferrell just travels along with her. And it is really one of the more beautiful stories. And I think because we hear a lot, and we hear a lot in the news and in your community, where you have trans people that are really marginalized. And it's a very small percentage of the population. And they already feel so badly about themselves because they don't feel right in their own bodies, which is nobody else's business but theirs. And then you have this whole political apparatus that is claiming that kids are going to schools and, they're over there whacking wieners at schools and then sending people home. If you go to a Trump rally, that's what they make it sound like.
Didn't they? Donald Trump said it on stage, didn't he? The kids are going to school and then they're coming home with horrible surgeries.
Right.
Now, what would you do if your kid, did you know any kids that go to school, a boy, and comes home a girl?
You know what my response was? We know that's not happening because the Republicans would never fucking pay for it. Immediately, we knew it was a lie.
But here's the thing that I want these evangelicals or any people of faith that vote for Trump. When you think about stuff and you hear everything in that right-wing media echo chamber, it fires you up and all of a sudden you're mad. But when you think about when you were in school, I remember girls that were kind of tomboys.
Yeah.
And I remember boys that were kind of effeminate. And I remember them getting picked on. And I remember them acting a little different, looking a little different. And I remember them getting bullied. Imagine they're human beings and they were that way from first grade all the way on. And then imagine they've been bullied their whole life and then your government starts bullying you too. What does that say about us as a society? I just feel like if we're promoting freedom, why do you give a shit what gender somebody says they are? It makes zero difference on the impact of society other than to show them kindness and embrace them the way Will Ferrell did his friend Harper. And it's really this beautiful story.
She got teared up last night. She finished it.
I only cry about once every 2 years. Dawn.
Right. I mean, she was teared up. She was like, you have to watch this.
I was flipping through it. I saw it on and I started watching it. I mean, and honestly, I fell asleep on it. Not because it was that boring or anything. It's great, but I just fell asleep because I was exhausted. I think it was on Sunday. So I want to see it. But also, again, it's the hypocrisy because many of those people who are judging, right, they would consider themselves to be Christian or evangelicals or godlike or patriots or whatever. And remember, what is the First Amendment in the Constitution?
Freedom.
Right.
Freedom of expression.
Expression. That's right.
And so if you don't believe that people have the right to express themselves, and what does that say about you? That's an un-American value, that you are actually not a patriot. And so you can not want that for yourself, but that doesn't mean that you should judge someone. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to understand it. So if you don't want to be transgender or to cross-dress or to whatever, then don't do it.
Right. It's real easy.
Don't tell someone else that they cannot. And don't tell someone else what they can and cannot do with their child.
Okay, before we play Had It or Hit It, I want to ask you, and this is where we're just going to get a little. So Pumps and I all the time, we woke up this morning, we shared a hotel room. We woke up and she goes, oh my God, I'm so happy it's Don Lemon Day.
And by the way, people got mad at me because I have, my Southern accent comes out and they thought that I was calling it. So I have to make sure that I say Pumps because when I say Pumps, they think that's my Southern accent. So they thought it was he's pronouncing her name wrong. I'm that's just how I say it.
That's how I say it.
And now I'm Pumps.
Okay, let me tell you this, Dawn. So I watched your show at 5. And I'll text Jennifer and I'm like, do you think I should enter the live chat and say, Dawn, I love you?
should.
I want to unzip, because we left meeting you the first time and it was right after Baby Reindeer came out. And we were in the car and we were like, we want to just take Dawn Lemon. We want to unzip our skin and we just want to put
Did you
Dawn
watch
Lemon
Baby
in there.
Reindeer?
No, I haven't watched
Okay,
it.
so there's
about
this
the stalker.
There's this scene where the stalker, this doesn't shine a bright light on Pumps and me, but we're going to go ahead and humiliate ourselves because we've been doing it for 2 years now. So there's this scene in Baby Reindeer where the woman is a stalker and she tells the man that she's stalking. She says, I want to just unzip myself from the neck all the way down and put you inside me and then zip back up.
We want to do that with Dawn Lemon.
And so after I met him, I go, I kind of want a Baby Reindeer doll.
I have a story.
Okay, let's hear it.
God.
When I first came out and I went to visit New York, I met this guy, and he told me a similar story that he liked me so much. He goes, I just want to like take you and put you inside of me. And not in the way that you would think. And I was like, okay, that's
weird.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped going out.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a relationship. I mean, it's creepy enough
So
that
I
we do it.
can't be friends with you guys. Okay.
No, Dawn, you can't break our heart.
You're
When we
so
came back from
weird.
meeting you, Kylie was like, we were like, Kylie, we just love Dawn Lemon. Like, we think we need to get a picture of him and put him in the studio. We love him so much. And like 3 days later, we're still talking about how much we love Dawn Lemon. She goes, you guys are like giddy school girls.
She's like, you've interviewed Kamala Harris.
Like,
We're
why are you
we
so-
love Dawn.
we just love Dawn.
Don't take him away from us. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Are you ready to play Had It or Hit It?
Okay, yes.
Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it.
Had it.
Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. Okay. All right. Had it or hit it, vow renewals.
Had it.
I agree.
It's a red flag. You're getting divorced within 5 years of a vow
Had
renewal every single time.
For me, it's like gender reveal. Sorry, had it.
You know what I also think? I think the vow renewal is what is born when somebody fucked around and somebody found out.
100%.
It is the results of the
Yes.
fuck around, find out.
Or
If you
maybe
don't break up.
Or maybe they're both doing it and they're like, okay, we need to recommit because we've had a lot of
Right.
ways and we've been
We've been too naughty.
swinging and
Yeah.
naughty and
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay. Had it or hit it, Crocs.
Oh, hit it.
They're so comfy.
You wear a little Croc?
Yeah, I wear Crocs because they're easy. And when I run out to walk my dogs, I can slide them on. And dogs can be messy. You go in the park and it's just easy to get stuff off of it.
You just
Okay.
put them
Not
in
as
like
a fashion statement, as a necessity.
As being a
You've
good
had
pet
it.
owner.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
not going to wear it like to out to dinner. I know I'm not going to do that.
You
But
can't
some
do
people
that
do. Some
because-
people
No,
do.
you have a style icon to protect, but I do
Yeah.
like a Croc.
Yeah, I do too. I like a Croc.
I do too.
Okay. Had it or hit it, cold plunges.
Had it.
Same.
Same. And I'm had it with people talking about
Yeah.
it.
I try to avoid being cold.
Yeah. I
Like
do a
there's-
steam shower. And then afterwards, maybe I'll do like a cold, if I want to close my pores or something or whatever, and I don't want to sweat, then I'll do like a cold thing for like as long as I can stand in the shower and that's it. But I don't, because that also causes shrinkage too. Can you, after a cold plunge?
Can you imagine?
If you can find it after that, then
Yeah,
you're,
good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. This guy's from your home state. Had it or hit it, Mike Johnson.
Oh, had it.
What is going on in Louisiana that he's number one?
I don't know.
And that chip,
They're monitoring the porn of each other. It's so
That is the
weird.
weirdest fucking
How
thing.
creepy are these MAGA people these days?
It's weird. We call Mike Johnson Moses Mike because he
Moses.
said on TV with cameras on him, Dawn, he said this, God told me, you're Moses. He told me I was Moses. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be the Speaker of the House and I'm going to be Moses. He said that out loud and we're all just still going about our lives. And I'm like, hello, he's number 2 and hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
He's
line for the
crazy.
presidency.
Yeah. Okay, last one because you got to go. Last one, had it or hit it, Kamala Harris.
Can I say hit it?
Yes.
Hit it.
And I would go out with her. If she was single, she
She's
asked me out.
beautiful.
She's beautiful. I would go out with her.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Don Lemon, follow him on all of the things. Don Lemon Live. He is my best friend over Pumps because I didn't ditch him.
The new book, I Once Was Lost.
Yes,
My
I
Search
once-
for God in America. You can buy it online or support your local bookstore. But it's The Don Lemon Show on YouTube. YouTube.com/LMShow. @ the Don Lemon Show.
And it's live every day at 5.
I'm live every day at 5, and I do hot topics at 10 in the morning Eastern, 5 Eastern. And
What
10
are
Eastern.
is it called? The Lemon? What's your group?
Lemon Live.
So my group is called the Lemon Nation or the Lemon Heads.
Lemon Nation.
Yeah, the Lemon Heads are part of the Lemon Nation.
Okay, I'm a
Gotcha.
lemon head.
Yeah, me too.
Just
I'm going to put I love you in the chat sometime just for shits and giggles.
he's going to be like telling his people,
She's
never
a
book.
stalker.
I've had it again. They're freaks. All right, bye, listener. We'll see you next Tuesday and Thursday.
Bye.
I'll tell you what I've had it with. Let's hear it. I've had it with that. Listen up, patriots, gaytriots, and natriots. We have a new podcast that has dropped. It's called iHip News. It's Monday through Friday, every day, 15 to 20-minute hot takes on the political landscape of the United States of America, always served with a side of petty grievances.
We are on all the available platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever you get your podcasts, and YouTube.
Please go rate, subscribe, and review so that we will chart upwards with America's greatest legal mind. Pumps, what does an eagle say?
Caw-caw!
A little bit more enthusiasm.
Caw-caw!
That's it. That's
Caw-caw!
That's the patriotism that this country needs right there.